Previously on Revelation.
Is she conscious?
Brain dead. They say there's no hope.
She's talking, quoting scripture. Revelation.
The end of days. I've been sent here by the map drawn by a child in a comatose state.
I don't think I can help you.
The nun's got money behind her. She's mounting an expedition to find Jesus.
I know what happened to your daughter. If you don't help me, they'll cut her heart out all over again.
God has deserted you. You have made your deals with the devil. I do not believe.
Let us look at the story of the Earth as a war between two opposing forces, positive and negative, natural enemies whose conflict shapes the forces that give us life and bring us death. Their combat heard in the crackle of lightning and crash of thunder, the tearing apart of tectonic plates that sends lava bursting to the surface, hurling coral atolls to the tops of mountains, and mountains to the bottom of the sea.
Don't you think it would be more practical to take her to a hospital?
That's the first place they'll look. They're not interested in keeping her alive. They'd have taken her within seconds if you hadn't revived her with your touch. If they find her, her life is over.
I did what I could. A local judge facilitated her transfer.
To where?
A private ambulance showed up and took her away.
Phone records?
None. They didn't use the house phone.
What about visitors?
The nun who investigates miracles, Montefiore. And there was a doctor from Harvard who attended her medical review and was with them when they left. Massee was his name.
Is it any wonder that man should have called these forces gods? Of dark and light, of good and evil. Indeed, there are people who believe that the earth itself was created as an arena for these two foes to finish it off, hand to hand, through their surrogates in human form.
Now I feel safe.
God's grace you got here.
Not without the help of this man. It took some blaspheming to get her out.
Oh, blaspheming has its place. Are you the friend?
I suppose.
How is she?
Stable.
Good. Oh, good. She'll be well cared for here. We train missionary nurses for service abroad.
Yeah, you might be needing a lawyer soon. The hospital vowed to get her back.
Oh, this is a religious sanctuary. Those gates remain shut unless ordered open by papal authority.
I guess it doesn't hurt to have the Vatican on your side.
Oh, we wouldn't know.
Excuse me?
Complex issues, I'm afraid.
No, I'd like to understand that, actually.
Mr. Massee is a professor, therefore he needs much explanation.
Professor of what?
Oh, complex issues, I'm afraid.
Checkmate. You see, the Vatican rejects our activities because it's threatened by them. Do sit. You'll have tea. Think of this. What validity would the Pope have, for instance, as a conduit to Jesus if Jesus were no longer in heaven listening to his prayers.
And where would he be exactly, Jesus?
Here on Earth, or soon to be, given the state of the world according to prophecies. May I show you? More than 2,000 years ago, the first Bible written on animal parchment looked far ahead to the world at the end of time. Yours and mine. Listen. A world of wars and rumors of wars, for nation will rise up against nation, kingdom against kingdom. It's a vision of mankind plunged into endless bloodshed. Challenge me, please. Tell me there have always been wars. But in these days will be a time of tribulation, such as has not occurred since the beginning of creation. When before, Professor Massee, has every living thing stood so clearly on the point, the very brink of instant and simultaneous annihilation? It speaks of famines and plagues and false prophets preaching hatred and intolerance, infecting us all.
To love thy neighbor as thyself has become to hate thy neighbor and thyself. Young mothers are willing to go to marketplaces and blow themselves up in the name of religion. This is not religion, nor is the retaliation that reigns upon their children.
This is the world foretold as the end of days, when Christ will reappear, stalked by the Antichrist, for a confrontation between good and evil that will scorch the very face of the earth.
Unless?
I believe the Bible has left a blank to be filled in by man.
Her beliefs are considered blasphemous by some, just as have been the beliefs of all visionaries. Which is why we are in this on our own.
So you are looking for Christ?
Some believe he is overdue, others that he is already here. If he is here, I intend to find him.
And if you do?
Protect him, forestall the confrontation between good and evil, and pray that mankind will do its part.
I'm sorry.
It's insane, isn't it?
Yes, it is insane.
Which is why we need your help.
My help?
Yes. You tracked Satanists to the ends of the earth.
I had a trail to follow.
As do we.
Words written 2,000 years ago?
2 months ago. That is why I want you to meet the man that I work for, Torvald Eklind. You could write about it. A new book, perhaps.
That's why you think I came here? For a book?
Why did you come?
Looking for my daughter. I guess. Not Jesus and the Antichrist.
Perhaps that is how your daughter intended you to find her.
She's gone, sister. I'm sorry. I need to put her at rest now.
Passenger Marcelo Tubert, please pick up a white courtesy phone. Passenger Marcelo Tubert, please pick up a white courtesy phone.
Headed home, Dr. Massee? I'm from Boston. I recognized your face. Sorry for your loss.
Flight 738 to Denver is now boarding at gate D5. Flight 738 to Denver is now...
You have a nice trip, sir.
D5.
Is it your belt, Mr. Massee?
Are you from Boston?
Beg pardon?
You knew my name.
Satanist Isaiah Haden has successfully petitioned for a transfer to the general population of solitary confinement where he had been placed for his own safety. This in spite of an injury to his hand that required microsurgery late last night. It is also rumored that he is threatening a hunger strike because his request for access to the press has been denied. He claims to have a message for the world.
Sir, seatbelt, we're about to land.
Oh, ma'am, I could have my coat, please.
Be right back.
Daddy?
Lucy.
I want to go to heaven, Daddy. Help me get there.
Please, sir. You'll have to take your seat. You all right?
No, I'm not.
Dr. Massee.
Sorry, I'm late. I took the train.
Oh, last of the train travelers. I'm surprised you changed your mind about coming. May I know why?
Just curious, I guess.
About what?
Why does Torvald Eklind have a nun working for him?
Well, he was aware of my work and wanted to sponsor me. He believes as I do. If there is evidence of Christ on earth, then that's proof that we're at the end of days.
So, all it takes is finding Christ on earth.
Dr. Massee, welcome. You're the literal answer to a prayer. If I'd sent God a want ad, he couldn't have supplied a better man for the job.
I think you'll find this most interesting. Anna Teresa Sabloni, an Italian nun who was dismissed from her abbey when she revealed she was 3 months pregnant, claiming she'd never been with a man.
It was a cloistered abbey, only women allowed close to the outside world. And yet still nobody believed her.
And you do.
Our monthly report from Cardinal LaVey at the Vatican indicates that 6 months later, this same woman appeared there carrying a newborn infant, telling the same story that God had fathered her child and she was in grave danger. Once again, she's turned away.
And a short time after that, the police in Athens were contacted because she was trying to board a ferry without paying.
By all indications, she got on it and died with everyone else aboard.
Except for one. Miracle child found on high seas. An unidentified male infant afloat on a piece of wreckage, sole survivor of a capsized ferry in the middle of the Aegean Sea. Fairly miraculous, wouldn't you say?
Certainly fortunate that a rescue boat was standing by.
It wasn't. The rescue boat didn't arrive until 14 hours after the ferry had gone down.
I would challenge that. With the water temperature at that time of year, naked baby soaking wet, the wind chill factor alone would kill it within minutes.
Which is exactly why I need to go there. We don't even know the name of the boat or where they took the child.
But at least we can check the facts on this part, which we can't with virgin birth.
I wouldn't be so sure. Virgin birth could be proved with DNA.
Thus, the stargazer.
Dr. Massee, could you explain that?
Well, without a human father, it would read like a clone, parthenogenetic. If you could find it, a simple blood test could prove or disprove the mother's claim.
But that's just extraordinary.
You said there were other criteria, though.
Yes, divine intervention, which would account for the child's survival, and eyewitness testimonies to the child's own miraculous powers.
You mean like walking on water?
Well, we won't know that till it can walk.
That's the point, though, isn't it? I mean, you're looking for the Savior. And even if this is Christ, how can a child save the world?
Dr. Massee, Christ is hope. And if we find the child, and he is Christ, then perhaps hope can save the world.
Watch your step.
Welcome. So, how did it go?
Well, he's coming with me. Is she still speaking?
In Latin. For God so loved the world that he sent his only begotten Son.
No longer the Book of Revelation.
No. She seems to have switched to the Book of John.
How was the surgery?
Bloodless. Our little oracle.
Did we silence her?
She was gone before I arrived.
The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away.
Not dead. Gone. Slipped away. Taken, they said, by the nun who records miracles and Richard Massee.
Richard Massee?
I'm at a loss that they even know each other.
Richard Massee?
They were seen arguing, he and the nun. The nun overheard to say his daughter Lucy was summoning him through this child.
Aksas perinuta.
Vamupei.
Tadashishi aprot.
Banu Bhakti Lord.
Aksas tisikal.
Sifao Eintro.
Bring what I need. She must be stopped. And little hawk. Don't let him slip away.
He's never out of sight. Ever.
Oh, Saitani.
Hey, Hawk.
Richard. Hey.
Don't worry, I won't ask for a hug out here.
What's up?
I just want to see how you're doing.
Your ex hasn't kept you informed? I'm failing math, she thinks I need a haircut, and she got my dad to ground me for smoking.
That's Nora's way of saying I love you. Lucy caught on to that after a while. So tell me, what's going on?
I really like those postcards, especially the one from Brazil.
I thought you would. I don't have to leave again. I just have a few days, want you to know that.
Go bag another Satanist?
No, bag my limit.
Make you feel better, Richard?
Hey.
I'm sorry. I didn't...
You're angry, I get that.
Do you?
And I intend to make up for it when I get back. I want us to be like we used to be.
Used to be.
Like they should be.
Whatever.
I'm gonna take that hug now.
I'm not really into it. Just...
Come on. Do it anyway.
Why has Isaiah Haden gone on a hunger strike? Is this some form of protest?
My client, Isaiah Haden, is not on a hunger strike. He's fasting. Not out of protest, but for purification. Mr. Haden is a master in the arts of mysticism, a teacher of teachers, a man whose mission on earth is to serve mankind.
Dear Jesus. Hi.
Hi, package for Nora Weber. Sign, please.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Nora, come on in.
Explain this to me.
I understand.
That's your return address.
I didn't send these.
Then who did? And why? Who's following them and taking his picture? And why would they send them to us?
Hayden mentioned his name. And yours. And Tom's. He even knew that Hawk played soccer for the Davenport Devils.
Isn't one enough for him? Why did you have to bring him back? Why didn't you just kill him?
Because then I'd be like him. And that's not what she would have wanted. It's no tribute to her goodness.
I have to tell Tom. Maybe Henry should visit his mom in New Hampshire. She's having a baby soon.
Look, I think I ought to call Tom. Maybe we should put a bodyguard on Hawk, just for our peace of mind.
Ask God the way to heaven, and he will show you the hard way. For the hard way is the path of change, purpose, and pride. It's the path of his only begotten Son. Oh, it's unlikely you'd be interested in hearing about Jesus, Mr. Haden.
No, you're wrong. I love Jesus. Because once his followers were called a cult like mine.
Jesus was not a murderer.
Well, none of us is perfect.
You insult these men.
No, you insult them, chaplain. By offering them a God who does not love them as they are. What's your name, son?
Jesus.
My God loves you, Jesus. And not in spite of what you've done, but because of what you've done. And you too, Jesper. With all those nasty little secrets. My God loves you too. His sin, it's written all over you. I can see it in your eyes. Jesus had no coat. He had disciples, like I have mine. And disciple means discipline.
Hello?
Dr. Massee, I'm sorry to call you at this hour.
Is she all right?
Yes, she's speaking again. No longer revelation. She's quoting the book of John, certain passages that refer to where this portion of the Bible was written. John the Apostle was sent there, you see, after Christ's death.
Sent where?
Oh, the island of Patmos in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. It's a Greek island off the coast of Athens, in the approximate area that the ferry boat went down, and the baby was found. I think that Olivia is trying to send us there.
I'm gonna call you right back. Campus Police, this is Richard Massee. Can you send a car over here right away? This is an emergency. Tom, Maura, this is Richard. Can you call me back as soon as you can? I'd like to discuss the bodyguard idea. I'd like that in place before I leave town.
You going to Athens?
Yep, the island of Patmos. Boyle's gonna do the lecture class. Gandry's doing the seminar, but I want you to find out some things while I'm gone.
Whatever you say.
Research.
I'm your man. What do you need?
I want the name of the boat that picture was taken from, and where it took the child after it was rescued.
Miracle Child?
Also, find out anything you can about this woman. Doctors that diagnosed her pregnancy, where she was last seen, if anywhere, before she got on the ferry.
So it's this child you're looking for?
Yes.
I'm sorry, is that normal for an astrophysicist to do?
You have a problem with that?
No. Just there's this rumor going around that you're under the influence of some Svengali nun and you think that this child is Jesus Christ.
Where'd you hear that?
An assistant in the chancellor's office after you left there today.
Really?
Yeah. He referred to you and her as the nutty professor and the flying nun.
It's interesting. I'll be available on my cell phone.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Our flying time to Athens is a little under 7 hours tonight. We'll be turning down the lights in a few minutes for those of you who wish to sleep. We also have on offer a double bill of popular movies. Check the back of the program.
They're fashion models, I think.
Can I ask you something? Why did you become a nun? A young woman, attractive, her whole life ahead of her, giving up, having babies, knowing men, going to parties, never temptation, never regret.
Regret never. But, temptation, always. This is the essence of consciousness. Consciousness being awareness of choice, choice between good and evil, which is the essence of temptation.
Boy, you know how to discourage idle chatter.
I am tempted by something silly, something vain and superficial.
That sounds like sin to me.
I'd like to wear something red sometime.
Oh, you'll burn at the stake for that one.
Do you think?
Well, it depends on where you wear it. Forgive me, but would it have to show?
I think this conversation's come far enough.
All right.
Good night.
Good night.
Oh. She's beautiful. Boyfriend?
No, our stepbrother, best friend. He was her knight in shining armor. He changed a lot, though. After she...
I understand what you feel.
Sometimes I think I'll die of it.
Yes, I thought that too.
Your sister.
Yeah. But then I realized that that pain was a testimony to the power of human love. You couldn't hurt this much if you didn't love this much. And that's what we do when we love. We risk everything.
How could you permit it, though? This God of yours, how could a merciful God be so cold?
Father, why hast thou forsaken me? Christ asked the same question.
Did he get an answer?
Well, he wasn't a scientist, so he knew that some questions have none.
Excuse me.
Rubio, it's me.
You're on the island already?
Your message said you had some new information.
Yeah, I got pretty lucky here. The boat that rescued the baby was a Greek trawler named Thalassa. The islands it commonly stopped at were Crete, Lemnos, and Patmos, in that order.
All right, we're on the right track. What about the captain?
Not gonna be able to interview the captain. The ship blew up off the coast of Cyprus.
How?
Terrorism, I guess. No known survivors.
What about Aunt Teresa?
The Virgin Mom? There's no records anywhere. I'll keep looking.
Good. Good work. We'll be in touch. So, nothing on Aunt Teresa before she got on the ferry. The ship that picked up the child was called Thalassa. It probably did stop here. Afterwards, it was blown up somewhere off the coast of Cyprus.
Did you get anything?
They say they see it all the time, right out there.
See what?
Thalassa, the ship, every day out there.
Thalassa means the sea. We all see it every day. At last you have found the sea.
We're looking for a child, actually, that was rescued from the sea. It's a ferry boat.
Yorgo, parta. Bravo.
We could offer a modest reward.
Have dinner tonight at the Cafe Cellini. Sunset is the right time.
What do you know about the child?
It's really terribly important to us.
Not just to you.
Who else?
Order dinner for 4. I recommend the fish. Marta, bravo.
Why for 4?
I think it's worth a try.
Sister Josepha.
Richard Massee.
My name is Athena. We were sent by Stathis. My grandfather is an elder of the Greek Orthodox Church, St. Demetrios. He would not like to know I spoke to you of these.
And who's this?
Oh, my grandmother. She is hungry.
Χάρηκα πολύ που σας γνώρισα. Σας ευχαριστώ που μας βοηθάτε.
Stathis says there will be rewards, but that is not why we are here. We want only to find the child. We need him very much now.
Which child are you speaking of?
The miracle child. The one from the sea. The man from the ship brought it to my mother's sister's house, who was very ill with vichas.
Bronchitis.
But after suckling the child, she became well again.
You witnessed this?
Yes. And after swaddling it all night beside her own sick baby, her baby too was pink in the morning.
This is testimony of miracles.
A neighbor also had the illness, asked to hold it and took it home for a night. He too was well.
And the child, what happened to it?
Taken from the neighbors to a church. Without it, the neighbor sickened and died. We are afraid for my mother's sister, who is ill again.
Athena, do you know which church it was taken to?
Saint Zachariah on the mountain. Many came for sacrament. They say he is Christ.
Where is he now?
Taken by a priest from the island, a small priest in robes.
Do you know, I think we should go to the church now while there's still daylight.
If you could excuse us, we don't have
It is not safe to go there.
No, we'll be fine.
Φεύγουν χωρίς να πάρουμε τα λεφτά μας. Παίρνουμε τα λεφτά μας. Μας είχαν πει ότι θα υπάρξει αμοιβή.
My grandmother says she will accept the rewards now.
Of course, this is for the dinner and for the reward.
If you find the child, that will be our reward.
Thank you, thank you.
We've been set up. A couple of tourists offering reward for stories about a miracle child. Get sent up to the church, guess what? Church is all burned out. There's nobody here to refute the stories.
I believe what they said.
Which part?
That there was a child here, that it was born of a miracle, and that it came from the sea.
Right. The Christ child.
I couldn't say. The ship that rescued him was destroyed. The people that he healed grew sick again and died, and the church that sheltered him has been burnt to the ground. Is that the sort of path that the Son of God would leave behind?
And yet you believe them.
At the end of days, Satan will send a false Christ, born of signs and wonders, many of them in many places. A host of unholy cherubs to lead the faithful astray.
You're saying this is not Christ?
Dr. Massee, could God and the devil be differentiated by DNA? Dr. Massee. Dr. Massee!